Alright folks, so what's going on and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be flying the DJI Neo FPV style. Now as you know, there's about 6 different ways you can control this aircraft, but in today's video, we're going to be using the Goggles 3, the Motion Controller 3, and the Remote 3. And I also have some ND filters from my last video that I want to try out on the DJI Neo while flying FPV, just to see what kind of images I can get. And also, if you are new to the Neo and also the whole Neo setup, I'll share with you a few things that you may need to know when you are setting this up and pairing your equipment. So you guys just stick around and we'll get right into it. If you're new here and you like drones and other cool tech reviews and tutorials, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell for future content. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Motion Controller 3. Now I do want to put these ND filters on here, and I'm going to use the motion controller when I'm doing that, because when I use the Remote 3, I kind of get reckless when I'm flying. So reckless to the point where I like to hit, gaps and like to do some, more risky things. So if I crash, these things will definitely pop off because these are held on magnetically. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, of course, is power on your aircraft. So you do a press and then a long press and hold. And also power on your goggles. So if this is your first time connecting these and you need to pair your aircraft to your goggles, you just hold down the power button about 4 seconds and you'll hear a tone. And on the goggles, you hold down the power button for about 4 seconds until you hear a beep. And then when it stops, that means they're both paired. And also, if you don't have your motion controller already paired, you have to do the same thing. Hold down the button for your power button for about 4 seconds, and then hold down the goggles button for 4 seconds. And when it stops, that means they're paired. So you'll be pairing the motion controller to the goggles, which relays the signal to the drone. Okay, so to connect your Goggles 3 with your Neo, you first have to go into the status menu here, and then up on top, right now I have it set to the DJI Vital 2, and highlight the switch button there. Scroll down and switch it, and then you should hear a little tone to when it connects. There we go. Now you're all connected to the Neo here. All you need to do is just power on your motion controller, and there's a tone, and you're all connected. Now, as far as my settings, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to use manual. I'm going to keep my ISO at 100. I want to use the best resolution, which is 4K, but the Neo can only record in 4K 30, so we're going to keep it there. And my shutter speed, I'm going to use the 180-degree shutter rule, since I'm going to use ND filters, which states basically you should double what your frame rate is. So it'll be 1 over 60 to get the optimal motion blur. Now that's all blown out, you see, but we're going to fix that in a minute. And my white balance, I'm going to leave it at 5500. And my aspect ratio is going to be 16:9. And we're going to keep it on rock steady. Now, as far as the ND filter, I'm going to use an ND 16PL, and we're just going to place it on here since it's magnetic. Fits right on, and as you can see, it looks a lot better. Now the next thing I want to do is just make sure my safety settings are correct, and max flight is 394 feet. And my return to home altitude, I'm going to increase that a little bit to around 200, just because we have a water tower over here, just in case I go somewhere beyond that water tower. And looks like everything else is in the green, so I think we'll be good to go. Now I have about 20 minutes of space left on my DVR, so let's go ahead and take off. Push up on the stick. Now it's a little windy here, and let's ease on down here. Now I really don't like flying with the motion controller, and I mean, it's good if you want to get some nice control shots here, and also if you are a beginner and you don't know how to fly FPV, this is a good way to introduce yourself to the world of FPV and how it feels to fly first person. Now this drone here is about 135 grams, and it is getting tossed around here in the wind. Let's see if I can increase this to sports mode. Here we go. Go a little bit faster. Right now it seems like I'm going into the wind. I'm only going like maybe 12 miles per hour, 13. All right, I'm turning. Alrighty. Let's see if we can go through this path here and maybe get some nice shots. Now the footage on coming from this drone is not great at all. However, you know, based on what you pay, I mean, this is pretty much as good as it gets, you know, based on the price that you pay for this. $200 is not bad. I mean, the camera is decent. It's not the greatest. It's not a Mini 4, of course. But for a nice beginner drone, around $200, I've seen worse cameras on drones that actually cost more. I have rock steady on. It's really getting tossed around here in the wind, and I like to see what it looks like with rock steady. I also like to skim the ground a lot. It makes it look a little bit more dynamic. This thing is not super fast, and also with it nice and windy out here today, it's not even going up to its full speed, which is, I think, is around 25 miles per hour in sport mode. I'm going 9. I guess it's turning into like a wind test because I'm only going like 9-10 miles per hour into the wind in sport mode. All right, so what I'm going to do is just bring this back, and I'm going to put it in manual mode, and we're going to fly it in manual mode. We're going to take off the ND filter, because like I stated earlier, I tend to get a little risky when I'm flying in manual mode with the RC FPV Remote 2. All right, so we're back, and we're going to be using the DJI FPV Remote 3. And if it's not connected to your goggles, all that needs to be done is power it on and then hold down the power button for about 4 seconds, and then also hold down the power button on the goggles for 4 seconds, and then it will connect. All right, so as you can see, this is all overexposed, and that's because I took off the ND filter. So what I'm going to do is just go back and put it in auto. All right, so that solves all that. And I believe I'm just going to leave it in auto. I could tweak the settings to where lock in my shutter speed and just put the ISO in auto, or I can do it the other way around. So I'm just going to leave it in auto here. And one important thing that you need to do if you are flying in manual mode, you want to go to your settings and go to controller, remote controller, And then go up here to gain an expo. And down here, if you scroll down here, in mode attitude limit, you want to click that off. Right now it's off. I had it off before. But make sure you turn it off. All right. And here are my rates here. These are rates I have for the Avata. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to change these around because flight characteristics and everything on the Avata is a lot different than this one. So, but I'm just going to use these just to start off. All right, so everything else should be good, and we're running low on battery on the goggles, so this might be a quick flight. I'm going to start off in manual mode right away. All right. Whew. All right, the wind is about to take it away before I even got off the ground. All right, so nice. My camera just fell. Like I said, it's windy out here. Hopefully it's still recording. You can hear my voice. I don't even know what I have. I must have the gimbal. Where's the gimbal pitch? Oh, it's 27. That's good. I'm going to keep it there. Keep it at 25. Yeah, it's windy. I'll take a snapshot of the UAV forecast and plop it up here on the screen. Just to let you know how windy it is with the gusts. Yeah, it's getting tossed around. Now this is the Neo. It's a nice little drone, nice little selfie drone, but this is what makes it fun, to be able to zip around and fly an FPV. It's nice and nimble too. Yep, it's getting tossed. Slow it down just a little bit. Going through here. Ooh, that crosswind is brutal. Now I'm going to go way up high and see if I can attempt a flip. Yeah, this doesn't have... Ooh, there it is. There it is, almost wiped out, but it's all right. It recovered. It's about 80 degrees now. 80 degrees in October. And I'm up here sweating with these goggles on. Yeah, this is definitely not gonna work. Ooh. Ooh, all right. That was the first time I ever used that pause button like that. Quick maneuvers and high winds don't mix with this drone here. But it's still fun. Yeah, wind is definitely picking up a lot. It's not going back into manual mode here. Come on. It needs to stay still a little bit, I think. All right, so let's bring it back here in sport mode. And then we're going to set it down and then launch again. All right, let's see if we can, without doing that, let's see if we can switch into manual mode. If it'll let me. I think it's just too much movement with the wind. Bring this down here. All right. All right, let's start off in manual mode. All right, now it's not even letting me do that. Come on. Here we go. Yeah, I would do a little bit more when I'm flying through here, but it's a little windy. Like come down through the trees, but it's a little windy, and every little thing I do seems like this thing wants to tip over. A nice little fun thing to zip around. And this thing seems like it's, I don't want to say it's indestructible, but it's hard to break. Yeah. Definitely a little irky jerky when controlling this thing. Gonna have to come out here on a better day, less wind. All right guys, so that was just a quick video with the DJI Neo. Now I'm trying to go through all the ways that you can control this, and it's about 6 different ways, and that was just 2. And the next video with the Neo most likely will be with the RC3, and I'll go through the same thing. As far as the settings that I use, it's pretty much going to be the same settings, but we'll go through it and also how to pair the two as well. So just stay tuned for that if you're interested. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also, if you enjoy drone reviews and other cool tech reviews and tutorials, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell for future content. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.